That's nice. That's nice. I like it. Let me put it that way. Y'all can decide for yourself. Broke one of my rules. Hey, Lewis here, Ropeadope TV. We are back. We had a little hiatus.
Small one.
We had a couple of weeks off. Ropeadope TV, live from East Philadelphia. Lewis Marks here from Ropeadope. Fabian Brown, also from Ropeadope. Let's get that.
The horns are in.
I'm going to do a little switch up here. Figure this out so I can reach it. It's all the towers and the wires here. How are you?
I'm feeling good. We've been very productive, and that's why I feel good.
It's been a mad rush over the last 3 to 4 weeks. I love it. This place is like a sanctuary.
Yeah.
So many beautiful things to see in town. It's just been absolutely wonderful. There's no doubt about it. I think somebody's trying to sneak in. I don't know what's up. See? He's trying to sneak in.
Oh.
I don't know. All right, we're back. Ropeadope TV, live from East Philadelphia. Lewis Marks, Fabian Brown. We're coming in with a new record.
Yes.
Big surprise to us. Again, we didn't know what to expect. People are just trying to sneak in. I don't know. They just love Ropeadope so much.
I know.
That's the way it is. Take it back. We were here with Will Hansa, Escaper,
Yes.
of whom Adam Ahuja is a member.
Yes.
And then prior to that, the Flowdown.
You just reminded me of something.
Adam Ahuja is a member, primary member. Koof Knotts had records with us. Adam Ahuja is on those records.
Right.
He's vying for the second most present Ropeadope artist.
You think?
Well, you know, after Sput, I don't know. We'll see how he does. But Adam starting a new label, and I don't even know. Can you call it a label? You got to go. Infinity Gritty is the name of the label.
Dig it.
But it's more than that. What is a new? You know, to just open up a record label now. What is it?
That's my question, because so what is a record label in the definition of how you define it? What is a record label?
I'll give you 3 words. I don't know. That's it. That's the first thing you need to know. So Adam's opening. He's opening purely with his vision of what he wants to do for musicians and in this business right now. So as part of that, records are going to come out. They're going to be distributed.
Yes.
And Ropeadope is a nice spot for him to connect in. We have 11 imprints that are connected to us in some way or another. We don't have a rule about how anybody's supposed to operate, about ownership or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's a great place for him to plug in, distribution, connection with other artists, and connection with fans.
I love it.
So, you know, people can go after this, go check out infinitygritty.com, check out what he's doing. And the first release on the label is this record from E. Scott Lindner. Mm-hmm. It's due out in
it's in August,
late July or early August. One of those. It'll be in the credits.
Right.
All right. So that was the beginning. Now we're going to see what comes in next. We just had a wonderful conversation with some folks up in New York City.
Oh yeah. Drink that one.
hate about this show right here is we have to turn the music down to talk. I could just if I were watching this from the other side, I'd be like, I wish that guy would shut the fuck up so I could hear the song.
Stop.
But we'll you get a taste of it right there. That is Unity. Amari Acosta. Axel Laugard. Hopefully I said that right this time. For some reason I have trouble with that. I can say I'm Maori, but Laugard is a little bit tougher for me. Axel from Cuba. A Maori Cuban American.
Yes.
A band in New York that has really attracted a lot of attention of musicians. You know?
Especially Robert Glasper.
Well, you let that one out of the bag, but we're going to let people listen to that. Yeah. It's some very interesting commentary from Robert Glasper is a fan of Unity. People should know that.
We should.
We'll let that go. Right?
Man,
it's all right. We got to tell the people.
Secrets.
So, Unity record comes out on July 28th, and that's, you know, what's amazing this month. And I know you want to talk about it. You have some notes about records that have just come out. Run down what's happened in the last 6 weeks till now, right? You want to talk about that?
I mean, not in order, we had a Diggable Planets live album that hit the streets. We had a Matt Cappy album that hit the streets. We had Hugh. We had Arthur Vint. We had the Pollyseeds. Right there, all that right there is like, whoa. Coming up next week, we have Trevor. This Friday, Trevor Lawrence Jr. Relationships.
Right, which will be last Friday by the time this airs.
100%.
Cool, right, and then Unity.
And then Unity coming up.
It's just incredible.
We have in August we have Shantae Can. We have Nathan Deshawn with RSVP.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, what's coming up with RSVP, and it's been a little bit of a delay here, but Robert Sput Seawright has his own imprint, also connected, as I mentioned, with the Ropeadope family, and they put out Ghost Note, and they put out a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but they really have kind of, you know, had a little gap here, and the reason is because he's been busy, and he's presenting quite a few albums this fall. The first one will be from Nathan Deshawn, and a renowned opera singer in Germany, but R&B soul with an edge.
Oh my goodness!
Right here in the U.S. And we met Nathan. We're gonna have some video from him.
Yep.
Beautiful stuff, and there's more. There's plenty more. People didn't pay attention. By November, everybody will go. Yeah. RSVP. RSVP record.
It's gonna be like an R&B soul quarter, I think, coming up.
Well, you know, but it's always in the middle regions, you know, R&B, soul, gospel, jazz, like somewhere in that triangle, in the middle there.
You know,
this part of
Unity.
Pronounce it Unity. The song is Guarapachanga. Man, I hope I said that right. That little break right there just took me back a little bit to Snarky Puppy, but then back again. You know? Just that sort of like all of a sudden slow it down and hit that. You feeling that?
I'm feeling that a lot.
Yep. I might just say that it is hot as...
Gives me an opportunity to wipe my brow.
Take a second for a little shout out to my family in Hawaii. Little Kona Big Wave Golden Ale.
Nice. Speaking of your fam in Hawaii, I know you have a huge trip coming up, which includes a pit stop in Hawaii.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
I'm hoping.
And then you're off to Tokyo?
Yeah, so Tom Noguchi came here. He came to the store, right?
That's awesome.
So Tom Noguchi is a cat who loves music, and he supports musicians, and he arranges for them to get to Japan each year. So he had Jonathan Scales over, he had Charlie Wooten and Rafael Pereira, Zabaduo, and many others. And he comes, he's so funny. Like, he came here, and at 3 o'clock, and I thought, well, are you hanging out? What are you going to do? We have the Mac Happy release show tonight. Would you like to come along? He's like, I don't know, not sure. Next thing you know, he's like, oh, I have to go. Next thing you know, there's pictures of him on Facebook with Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi, and he's over at the show. So like he people know that he's supportive. So he emailed me and said, "Man, why don't you just come to Japan? I got you covered. You can stay at my place." And I'm like, I didn't have a good reason why not. So,
have you been to Japan before?
I have not been to Japan.
Wow.
And there's, again, 3 words: 23-hour flight.
Whoa.
Kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
I have trouble sitting here for 30 minutes. So, I'm antsy. So I'm gonna do like a long range version of puddle jumping.
I like
I'm gonna go to LA. Gonna hang out.
Okay.
Say hey to Terrace and Spot and Trevor and Adam and the whole LA crew. Then off to Hawaii.
Okay.
Hang there for a couple days. Maybe surf. Then Japan. So I have 5-hour flight, 5-hour flight, 8-hour flight. Then on the way home, I'm hoping I have enough time to pop back and come back the other side of the world, so I can say I did a whole circle. Yeah, so I'm going to try to go like over to Warsaw.
Wow.
If I can. I don't know. We got to check the prices, but I figure Warsaw is up there.
Right.
And you take the short side over the top of the world, and then I can go down to Berlin. Smart. And then I can go to Paris and London, and then I come home. I mean, you got to patch it all up and figure out how much it costs and all that. But I think I travel pretty cheap, so I think I'll do it.
Good thing for internet.
Thank you for asking.
Man, that's great.
It's a good intro too, because we have this track coming out from a guy that I'm going to meet for the first time. He's put out 4 records on Ropeadope.
Yes.
Since 2007 or 8, and he lives in Tokyo. Takashi Tsuzuki. So this is crazy. You listen to electronic music from Japan, and it's really heavy. I don't really know how to describe it. On the computer sounds, like this, often a lot of clicking and a lot of choppy stuff, or just straight ambient electronic music, because I think in the early days of electronic music it was like, well, this is electronic, let's explore it for being electronic, right? And not just use it in everyday, in other compositions. But this is the first album that he's come back with that it's got all that, and it's got this dreamy sound, but then it has a little groove to it. And I hadn't heard that from him before, so we'll see.
I got one.
He's kind of meeting the Ropeadope sound at this point.
One word. I hear this. I hear licensing. I don't know why, but I do.
It's got to be in a movie.
That's what I mean.
Maybe a Quentin Tarantino film.
Oh my goodness, we know how much you love Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, man. That'll be good. So we can get paid for it, and I don't have to watch it. All right.
I got questions for you.
All right. While you do that, I'm gonna do a little product placement here.
Ooh, I like this.
And tell people about vinyl that is not going to be around for long, and we really do not want to hear your complaints after all of these are gone.
That's right.
Because they're not pressing it forever. It's got to be a little bit special. Go ahead. I'll just hold them up.
Well, no. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. You know, Terrace Martin, Velvet Portraits.
It's about 140 copies left.
140 copies left?
Right.
And once they're gone, they're gone.
That's it. Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably should act on that, I think.
Hey, look, I'm not going to rule anything. Sure, we could press another 1,000, but there's no intent to do that.
Right.
You know, it's not a continuous stop down at Walmart at 3 a.m. and grab a box of Q-tips. And right? It's a special thing.
Was nominated for Best R&B Album of the Year. Is that correct?
It was.
Okay.
It was. I don't want to talk about near misses though, or near hits. No, we are honored to be nominated. That's amazing.
This one,
and lost to a record that Terrace produced anyhow. So
which is funny.
Brand new. These 2 records came out in 2006. Sister Gertrude Morgan, Let's Make a Record, and the King Grit remix, or really the King Grit album, which included Sister Gertrude Morgan. King Grit presents Sister Gertrude Morgan.
Wow.
Beautiful double album with triple gatefold with Sister Gertrude Morgan's artwork.
That's awesome.
There are 350 copies here. There are 350 copies in New Orleans at Preservation Hall. And again, that's it.
There was a story behind that, right? Somebody who contributed, like, the process of making that, of the double LP. Wasn't there somebody involved? Or
a company called Vinyl Me Please. Yeah, okay. Got the whole thing cooking with Ben Jaffe at Preservation Hall. And we've been talking about it for a long time. And we may release just the King Brit.
Okay.
As vinyl in the future, because that record that's history.
Right. He's another cool cat, man.
He is. He was around. There's an interview, just probably a couple interviews down, a couple of videos down. But yeah, that's a limited edition. And then this is done. I'm looking at maybe 30 or 40 copies of Christian Scott's Stretch Music. And they're here. So anyway, I just wanted to say that to people if you're watching. So you know people who like vinyl, tell them that, it's here.
Stretch Music.
I'd rather the people who watch this show get it.
Got
That's
it.
all I'm saying.
Before I go into my question about Stretch Music or something I want you to talk about, as this song comes in.
Uh-huh. You want me to bring it up?
Yeah, I get really excited.
Why you always fan flames? You be drinking like a fish, and I'm not one for all these games. You hustle money for the street car, take it straight to the corner bar. Ain't nobody buying your job. You better take yourself inside.
Yeah.
I'm going to let the music speak for itself. But here's what I'll say, though. This is why I love the music that comes out on Ropeadope. First of all, it's the people and the quality of people. Jimmy Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
One of those good guys.
Solid dude. Yep.
One of those good guys. Yep. Has been around the block, knows his stuff. But maybe why don't you speak to what this album's about? I know you can speak a little bit better than I could.
Yeah, well, we kind of went back and forth discussing this, and Jimmy presented his vision pretty clearly, about I cannot put it in his words. We are going to share some of his words about this, but deliberately raw, deliberately unpolished, in a sense, deliberately uncomfortable to express the reality of life in America, perhaps the world, but specifically America. And it was here in the 19th century, it was here in the 20th century, and it's still here in the 21st century. There are people out there living a hard life, and he wanted to capture that. This is what he sees. He volunteers a lot.
Yep.
I think he was focusing on the American Songbook, Great American Songbook, or Folkways, like some of the old field recordings, and wanted to capture, back when a person just played guitar and sang on their porch, to play guitar and sing on your porch.
Yeah, man.
Not to, get somewhere. Music for the sake of music. And I hope that people in this fast moving and polished world can take a moment and get to that. And it appeals to me because I'm drawn to that stuff. I'm a big fan of Blind Willie McTell and Bob Dylan and Townes Van Zandt and Steve Earle, and there's got to be a little bit of
good call.
There's always some sand in your fucking coffee, is what I'm trying to say. You know?
It's so
mixing metaphors completely, but, you know, that just about says it.
That's good.
You know, when you get to the bottom of the cup and there's some fucking grinds in there, and you're like, yeah, that's my day. You know?
That thought, and then this next track coming in, but before I lose my train of thought, what I wanted to say, we had talked about RSVP. We talked about Adam Hoosier with Infinity Gritty. Christian Scott, Stretch Music.
Uh-huh.
What's in the pipeline for that?
So Christian is, we're talking imprints today. So
Yeah.
Christian has started an imprint here at Ropeadope called Stretch Music.
Yes.
Appropriately. And that label will feature people that he selects for, you know, the things that he knows. You know, a high degree of I guess pedigree, or, you know, quality music composition, and also for an adventurous spirit. And, you know, people who view music as you know, jazz at least, and today's forms is something that's evolving and growing. And Sarah Elizabeth Charles will be the first record, produced by Christian. So that's coming up. I'm gonna have to. I hate to do this, but we're a little short on time.
You want to go back to it?
You know what? I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna let it play.
You told him.
Just hear a second or two of this guy's voice.
A lesson you'll never forget.
So this is a poetry record, and I popped it in there next to Jimmy just because, you know, I love the contrast. I love the different things. I love the adventurous spirit of musicians, and you ask yourself why? You know, it's because of their passion. This is what they see and what they envision. So that record is David Sierra, Mike Brown, and I always hesitate on that because I know two Mike Browns. Well, there's a Mike Brown who's a songwriter who was on the Greg Hester records, and I haven't met this Mike Brown yet, but I'm always looking at and Yusef Komonyaka, who is a award-winning poet. And they've managed to kind of get together and once again try to mix music and poetry, but this one really, the poet feels like a band member in this scenario. He feels like a soloist sometimes, and he feels like the rhythm sometimes. It's just like, it's a beautiful thing. And again, I hope that people in this fast-paced world can take the time to listen to it and support.
That comes out September?
Dude, I don't know. Put it in the thing. I can't keep, you know. You got to do the vision thing. There's a lot coming out. And, we're going to let this go out with, you know, there are tracks and albums where people are going to focus on certain songs. This is the last track of the Pollyseeds record, and it ends the record in such a comforting way. Don't Trip. God will always love you, right? Featuring Preston Harris, and it's just a nice, comforting vibe that describes another facet of the multifaceted Terrace Martin and the Pollyseeds as a collaborative group coming together. Gospel and spirit are a big part of that world, you know, of their world. So, you got any more questions?
I do. I'm looking at the time.
Yeah, give me one.
I think you can handle this. It's more of a, people may not know, but I think they probably should know. So you've been working with Apple for quite some time. You've been listening to a lot of music, not just Ropeadope music, but this generally what I feel, my opinion, great music in and of itself. Do you want to talk a little bit about Apple Music and the playlists that you've been curating?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, what a great opportunity. Apple Music gave Ropeadope, me, a spot as a curator inside the Apple Music ecosystem. So I can just grab from all those songs, make playlists, and publish them as if I was somebody that was worth listening to.
DJ
right?
Lewis.
Which is very cool. It's a beautiful thing, right? And you know how like the DJ goes and he's as good as whatever records he brought with him,
right? I know.
It's easy in that way because I do know. I'm not going to say every song on every record that we put out, but I'm going to give myself like an 85% on knowing what songs are what.
That's solid.
You know, worst case scenario, if sometimes I'll be driving and I hear NPR, and you just hear that little music in the background, and my head goes, and it takes me a couple minutes to go, oh, DJ Logic, The Anomaly, track 4, but I do know it. But what's interesting is that now I'm able to zoom out and put it in a larger context. What is this connected to, and what is that connected to? And I get to do really dumb things that are pretty exciting for me, and that is to whatever because I don't know how to do it. Like I'm doing it for the first time.
I don't know.
Right? No, but this is the magic. This is the magic. Like it's not like making a mixtape for your girlfriend back in the 80s, right? But all I do is look at what everybody else does and then just do something completely different, right? And I have great music to draw from.
That's a theme.
And Apple Music has everything. There's a few things that I haven't been able to find on there. Like one Beck album I couldn't find. But there's great stuff that could tie in. And so I take one of our artist songs as a starting point, and then I just start to dig backwards and say, what does this remind me of? What does that remind me of? And that's probably, there it is. The ice timer has told us it's time to go. We're good. But yeah, Apple Music, Ropeadope, look it up on Curators. Check it out. Some of its mood, some of its vibe, and some of it's just whatever, I don't know, history, the catalog. All right?
Dude, I'm digging it. I love it. We're great. We're great.
Ropeadope TV. East Philadelphia. Thank you.
We're back, baby.